Welcome back to another episode of Rayside Podcast. My name's Angus.
I'm Tony.
I'm Ricky.
I'm Derek.
So, one of the biggest things is, I guess a lot of people believe in is ghosts, right? So do you guys believe in that stuff? Because, man, I do.
I believe in them.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe that they can occur, but under certain circumstances. Not all circumstances.
What do you mean by that?
So I believe that if a person leaves this world of their own free will, or by their own choice, that they do not wander this earth as spirits and ghosts or stuff.
Oh, like they don't have unfinished business, or they don't have any grudges with the real world, like if they were murdered or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I kind of believe that too.
Yeah, because then there'd be no reason for them to be here. Then they would just be kind of everywhere.
Unless they
Right.
want to chill out.
Just be that kind of ghost.
Yeah, that's true. If everybody died and they became a ghost, I think it'd be way overpopulated.
What's that chilling here? Oh my gosh.
There'd be 100 spirits in this room right now.
Opening the cupboards and everything. I'm like, it's just,
Yeah.
it happens a lot.
Yeah. So you guys do believe there is some form of an afterlife, right? In terms of spiritual life or maybe reincarnation?
Yeah,
do you
guys going to
believe it?
heaven, stuff like that.
Sort of.
Yeah. Well, I used to go to church, so that's something.
So
that
you
still
believe
live
in heaven and stuff?
Maybe 50-50 with the heaven
Okay.
thing. Reincarnation, probably a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
But I do believe in ghosts
Right.
and evil spirits and all that stuff.
Yeah, so growing up, I was always really scared of anything to do with spirits or ghosts and stuff like that. I remember when I was young, my sister would force me to do seances with her friends.
Oh,
So a seance is when you're trying to speak to
Oh my
the
god.
dead or something. You have a candle, it's dark, all the blinds are closed, and you're yeah.
did they ever use a Ouija board then?
I don't recall.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But seances was a big thing to do in the 90s. I guess they didn't have any other forms of entertainment.
Did you have to make a star or something where you hold hands, candles?
So there's a candle, I think we held hands, it was dark, it was pitch black, just a candle, and then I think my sister would write something on there, and they would pick a person they want to talk to. One of their friends that passed away or something. It's oh hey Johnny, blah blah, how are you doing and stuff. And then I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me, but the whole time I was scared shitless, right? But they forced me, they're oh hey, let's do this, it'll be fun, right? And then I would hear stuff the radio would get louder and stuff, or I'd hear the door open and close. I was what the fuck?
Dude, man,
so
I'm getting
scary.
chills.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's just open up some portals.
Yeah, let's just invite these spirits into our house, right?
Become friends. Eh?
Yeah. So have you guys ever did anything like that where you're trying to communicate or open portals to?
Yeah, the thing closest for me is when you do the Bloody Mary.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did that once.
Yeah, I did that once.
I did that once, and that was it. I ran out
So
the
you
washroom.
turn off the light, you say
Turn off
Bloody
the
Mary 3
light.
times.
Yeah, and midnight or something, right? And then said it 3 times,
I
and after that, I just booked it out of there.
Yeah, there's so many variations of that Bloody Mary, right?
Candyman's one as well.
Yeah.
What's the
What's
Candyman?
It's based on the movie Candyman. It's
So
You do it, you
Candyman
say-
comes out of the mirror and gives you candy.
something like that. He's a Freddy Krueger type guy.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But that's a bit different because those are based on almost urban legends or movies, whereas
But when you're a kid, you believe.
you believe in
anything,
everything. You're right.
Oh my god.
And you don't want to risk it, right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't look in the mirror right after.
So would you guys say that you all respect that realm and you wouldn't want to mess around in terms
yeah.
of
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with a
Dude.
Ouija board or anything like that.
Yeah. If someone has a Ouija board at their home, I'm not coming over.
you're out of there.
Yeah.
Fuck shit.
You better burn that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also the fact that I think there's, even in Asian culture, there's people that can not necessarily speak to the dead, but they're they do certain things, the priests or the monks, to sort of ward off those evil spirits. You see them, sometimes you see them in movies, they use that wooden sword and then they dance around and all that. But I guess one of the biggest worries for that is one, sometimes you don't really want to touch that kind of spirit realm, but two, it's also because that also, unless you do it yourself, which is also kind of iffy on the legitimacy part, there's a lot of scammers out there willing to take advantage of that kind of stuff to try and like rip you off kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it's something like you have to be wary on both ends for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think the afterlife plays a big part in like our culture, like as Asians or Chinese or Vietnamese or Buddhists, because like growing up, like sometimes you like, when it's like a big holiday or an anniversary of a death, you like do the fruit and you know, they burn the incense and stuff. So like afterlife plays such a big part in like a lot of like, there's even like the feng shui stuff, right? Whereas like when I moved into my place, I didn't know anything about it, but my fiance who's Chinese, her mom was like doing like certain things like using a broom, brushing like the corners.
Oh wow.
Dipping like a papaya leaf into like holy water or something, like she can spray like splashing everywhere.
She got those like towels with like yellow paper.
Yeah.
I think some of the Western people, they do something similar too, where they burn sage.
Burn sage.
That's supposed to like, get rid of bad vibes or whatever. But yeah, I guess every culture has
a way to bring like good luck, right?
Right.
It's interesting. How about like actual like experiences that maybe you think you've encountered a spirit or something? Have you guys had those?
Yeah, like, well, I think people call it like sleep paralysis, right?
Oh my god.
But I feel some of that might be real because it got so real to the point where I felt like someone was walking on my bed, and then I felt someone like pushing me in the back. Someone's like nudging me in the back.
Wait, so you're sleeping
sideways.
Sideways. Oh,
Sideways.
God.
And I can feel like something's like pressing down on the bed. And then, you know, like, of course, sleep paralysis, you can't like wake up, right?
Yeah.
Like you're awake, but then you can't move. But for me, I felt something pushing me in the back.
I had a similar experience.
Yeah, and then I could feel someone like jumping on my bed.
Oh god.
Yeah, like, and
And your eyes are closed as
my
well.
eyes are closed, like I want to open it, but I couldn't. And then you're trying to move, but you can't move. And I'm just sweating balls.
Oh shit. So what happened after?
I think I was praying to God.
Oh shit.
Because I was like, that's the only thing you could do, right? Especially
You can't open your eyes. You can't
open your eyes. So I started like freaking out, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, just go away.
Yeah.
And then I start hearing like whispers sometimes. And, like,
Oh.
they like talk to me.
I'll kill you.
Yeah. So, like, man,
Watching
that's
you every day.
scary.
It's whispering lottery numbers. Just think that way.
You didn't stay positive. Be optimistic.
Next day, I'm like,
You know the way out of sleep paralysis, because it used to happen to me a lot more.
Toes, was it? Wiggle toes or no?
But you can't move. How do
you can't move.
I heard like you just gotta
maybe.
focus on wiggling your
I
toes.
tried doing whatever. I even tried to open my eyes.
You focus on breathing. Like you focus on like deep breaths, inhale, exhale, and then slowly once you move, you start shaking, and then you just open.
Really?
You start
The
shaking.
breathing helps.
The breathing, I felt like they were like pushing down my lungs. Yeah,
can't
it was,
breathe.
yeah, like felt like they're just like pushing down, so it was very hard for me to breathe.
So definitely not like a friendly spirit.
No, definitely not. And it happened, not anymore, but it was so often.
When was the last time they had one?
Man, it was a long time ago.
Like over 10 years?
No, maybe like 7 years, 6 years.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
I
when I
noticed
lived with my parents still, it was for some reason that room.
Yeah, I always wondered when hearing about stories of sleep paralysis, like, how do you know when it's sleep paralysis or if it's like you're
Something.
imagining or dreaming it?
Just a really bad nightmare.
Yeah, because it's hard to tell because you think you're conscious and you think that you're able to process these things, but you're just frozen.
But you're like seeing yourself in like a third
But
person?
maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, like astral projection.
I
or
tried
something?
that before.
That's
Crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, I have.
Oh.
I felt like I've had that once, but I was like super sick.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah,
I've
my
done,
head was
I've done that quite a lot when I was young.
No way.
But then like I feel like people.
Your
say that-
imagination is more.
Yeah, but it's like because you're more free, I guess. I think when you're more an adult, you have a lot more stress. You have so many things on your mind. You're more preoccupied, right? When you're young.
And you don't have deep sleeps when you're an adult because usually there's too much going on and
Yeah.
you're thinking about too much. That's how I am.
Yeah, because when I used to do that when I was young, I would fly out and I would just walk around.
That's like a lucid dream, right? Where you can control.
Yeah,
what you're
and I could control my dreams.
Oh, no
back
way.
Then. Yeah, like when I was young, I had really good control, but now it's like crap.
Like going to the girls' washroom or something.
I swear.
They're all birds.
I heard you have to actually like train to
Yeah.
be able to control your dreams.
Yes,
right?
but
What?
then there's like books where you
Oh,
can
interesting.
train yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the methods I remember trying to read was people would record their dreams. Like as soon as you wake up, you write down everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then-
used to draw.
Yeah, like a journal. Because
yeah.
after like an hour, you forget everything, right?
Yeah.
So doing that trains your mind, and then like I don't know, some sort of connection with your brain.
Yeah. I used to draw it out
Yeah.
every day.
Did you see like patterns and stuff over like the weeks or the months?
Like even now, so some days I have dreams from when I was young.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
visit the same places.
So it's still stored in like your subconscious somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
maybe,
Like
yeah, it's
That's
like-
interesting.
But yeah.
Hey, because maybe that time the ghost was like pushing on you. He just wanted some of the coverage. You gotta stop hogging the blanket sometimes.
No,
He
he
didn't
was
want to
he
get-
was in the blanket. He was in there.
like the grudge, like you're sleeping, you lift up the blanket, this girl's just like fucking
There. Oh,
White.
if I see the blanket start rising up,
Yeah.
I would just quickly just like freaking leave. I
Is
wouldn't
that a flashlight in there?
gotta
Yeah.
keep myself busy.
I got a good dream there.
We're gonna get a message from Angus in the middle of the night. Be like, yo guys, can I sleep over at your place?
No, that's why I can't watch horror films at night. Like it's
Anytime,
Yeah, yeah,
anytime of the
no.
day. Because your mind starts
yeah,
thinking, right?
think, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think it's one time I played a game, and it's about
Resident Evil or
ghosts.
something.
No, is it like Fatal Frame? It's like a girl
Oh,
that
that was
takes
such a
pictures.
scary
It
game.
takes pictures
Yeah.
of ghosts.
Yeah, two girls, right? Like
Yeah.
these girls, they're walking around like a school or
That
whatever,
game
taking pictures of
effed
ghosts.
me
Yeah,
up.
that's scary.
Like for 3 nights, I couldn't sleep, and I keep seeing the shadow in the hallway. It
Oh,
really-
the camera.
oh man, I had no camera, so I was screwed. I was so scared to go to the washroom because the washroom was in the hallway, right? So you have to walk out.
Oh,
Man, I was. I'd stop playing that game because that really messed me over.
yeah.
But-
I actually had like a very similar experience to you. So when I first moved here, I was sleeping on like a really like rundown sofa bed. So the ones where you have to open up and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
hollow underneath. It's like a little steel like frame or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like I had sleep paralysis, and then I felt like a pressure of someone holding like
Your
my
legs?
my shin and pushing it down.
Oh.
But the difference is but then I heard the creaking of the
See,
frame. I was
that's
like,
what I hear too.
So I was like, okay,
Shit.
there's no way I'm imagining this.
yeah,
Because I feel it, but then I hear the noise. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah, that's what I hear too. When
Yeah.
the person was jumping, I hear
The
like
springs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was mine was wood, but you hear the creaks
Oh,
of
yeah.
wood, and I'm just like,
That's
no.
when it creeps you out.
Yeah,
it's like,
because
no way.
it can't be sleep paralysis. And then but I heard that someone told me that you're not supposed to open your eyes when that happens. Because
Why?
once you see it, because I have a friend who gets this a lot, and he said that when he did, he saw like red eyes, and after that, it was constantly coming back after
Oh
him.
my god.
Oh
And,
fuck.
and he had trouble
Oh,
sleeping.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
And he couldn't like. I think he had to like do some. I don't know, not exorcism, but he had to like go find someone to like train him to like help overcome it.
Jeez.
But he said it would still visit him from time to time, but he had to really like tell it to go away in a way. I don't know how.
That's insane.
But he told me like just never open your eyes and look at it in the red eyes because he's like you see red eyes.
But in that moment, you want to wake up though, right? You want to like open your eyes just so you're conscious and
Yeah, like I think there's a couple times I didn't want to open my eyes, but I wanted to move. Like I wanted to like hit it, you know, like turn around and hit it, but I couldn't move. So, damn, dude.
Ooh.
Good thing we're doing it in the morning.
yeah.
A couple hours.
I'm gonna go watch a Disney movie after. Clear my mind.
Feels like it's like what's that thing they call in Asian culture? You're like when you can sort of see spirits, so you're like they're opening up.
It's like the third eye.
Yeah, your third eye.
Oh.
Earlier.
Let me tell you. Okay, yo, my first like when I dated my first ex, like her mom has that gift,
Oh.
and she told
Is
me
it
about
a
it.
gift?
Yeah, apparently it's a gift. And apparently she has that gift too, but she has to have it unlocked. So she told me the story about where her mom was at a hospital with basically her mom, right? So her grandma. And they did a checkup, and they went to the elevator. But then the elevator kept going down.
Oh.
And then the mom knew something was wrong. Like it took forever to keep going. And then it kind of went past their number. So she told her mom that, it told the grandma to close her eyes and just have her hand on her shoulder and just don't look. And then the door opened and it was like a dark hallway. And then her mom like just saw, it was just a dark hallway. And then someone else touched her grandma's shoulder, and her grandma was like, "Oh, is that you?" She's like, "No, it's not." It's like,
Don't
just
open
don't
your
worry.
eyes.
Yeah, don't open your eyes. Don't worry about it. And then they had to wait for the elevator to close to go back up to wherever floor they went to.
Jesus.
So, and she told me that before we went to sleep. I'm like, why would you do that? I'm like, come on, man. Like, how am I supposed to sleep? And she was like, yeah, and she was saying, like, I can get this eye unlocked. I'm like, dude, no.
Why?
Like, if you do that, I'm going to leave.
That would scare me from elevators completely. Like, I was scared of elevators when I was young, but
Oh, yeah?
Crazy. I don't even know if that's a gift. That's like a curse.
Unless you monetize it, like you start like a psychic or
Oh, there you go.
then you can make something out of it.
Yeah.
No, that's a curse.
Yeah, that's a curse, man. Like, I can't live my life like that. Like,
Imagine having your significant other. It's like, oh, don't sleep on the bed. There's somebody there already.
yeah, especially if you see, like, if you have a pet and you start barking or start looking at a certain thing for the longest time, you're like, oh my god, switch it. You just turn on Disney Channel and start watching that.
Yeah.
Think happy thoughts. Think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you guys had any like weird supernatural experiences?
I don't think I've ever had a straight up supernatural experience to me, which is really I'm really thankful for, because back in high school I was crazy into this paranormal activity stuff. I'd be scared and terrified of it, but I couldn't help myself. But I had to keep reading online.
Wormhole, right?
That's what I do.
Definitely.
Oh my god.
It's interesting, but scary.
It is interesting because you're curious.
I remember in like the early 2000s, there was this like website called Game Packs. It's like all these video games,
Yeah.
walkthroughs and stuff like that. I was big on games. And then there was one of them was about paranormal activity, and I would always read different stories and different experiences, just general information, like talks about orbs, which is like some flying shit up in the air, and rods and all this stuff, and then ghosts
like
in
UFOs
Taiwan,
and stuff,
Taiwan, which is like terrifying. Like all the scary stories come from there.
Asia, right? For some
Asia,
reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to sleep for nights. It was just too scary.
But you next morning you woke up and you started reading that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was also reading about like spontaneous human combustion.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking scary. It's just
There's been
what?
cases of that. No, they like just people have just they just ignite on fire for some reason,
What?
yeah, just out of nowhere.
and they think it might have to do with like because like the heaven and hell type thing, right? Because I don't know, like maybe they're bad people or some like some
Just all of a sudden?
punishing them.
randomly?
Yeah. I remember like seeing photographs of just living room completely normal, and then the sofa was on one corner, and it was like completely black on that sofa spot because somebody spontaneously human combusted on that spot, and it reached like over 1,000 degrees, which is crazy. And then all you see is like the mark.
Like their silhouette,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ashes,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do you think that's real?
I don't know.
Because I think growing up, you see that a lot on TV, but you don't know if like they're just making it up or
Yeah. Do you think it'll hurt if you combust like that?
if you're
Because-
on fire.
no,
I think so.
No, but it's such a high temperature, right? Like the death is just instant, right?
Pretty much instant.
If it's like a
Yeah,
slow
that's
burn,
why.
then it would.
But if it's like something like where you're being punished for like sinning or something, I'm sure it's supposed to hurt, right?
or it continues down when you're in hell.
Oh,
You're still
You
burning.
land
and like it just starts at like 1,000 degrees.
and it goes back down to like
Landed like a fire pit, like what the hell? Give me a break here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What about you, Derek? You got anything?
I don't say it was a natural experience. So I haven't had any of the sleep paralysis like you guys did, because I sleep like the dead. So like, you can put me on a couch or a bed and I'll just pass out and I won't wake up till the next day. And
Wow.
I will say I do dream, but my dreams are more like the deja vu dreams, where you go and you be like, hey, I feel like I've been in this place before, and then you wake up and then you go to the place and you're like, well, this feels weird.
Yeah, you have powers.
Maybe I have future sight, which would be awesome. I could
Have you
use
guys
that.
ever experienced that though? Like have a dream and you go to a place that
And
you've
it's
never
just-
been to before? Though?
Yeah, never been to before. Like one of the best examples was in I had this dream where I was at some sort of elementary school, and I was like just looking around, just doing nothing for some odd reason. Like some of my dreams are like I just don't do anything, and I just like look around and say, hey, this is nice scenery. You know, it's a really weird dream. But then when I started doing it, I was a parking attendant at the P&E, right? Which is what the fair is called. And so in one of my shifts, they sent me to a parking lot, and it was an external parking lot away from the fair because they don't have enough parking, so they have to subcontract out the other places that people can pay for parking and just shuttle them over to the fair. So one of the parking lots was actually the elementary school that I dreamt of, and he was like, they dropped me off, and then they gave me a walkie-talkie, and they're like, oh, your supervisor will come check up on you every like 2 hours or so. And then I walked over to it's me and this other parking attendant. I walked over and I stood in the exact spot where my dream was. And I looked around like, this feels very weird. I have no idea I think I've been here before, but I hadn't. This is my first time there.
So you're certain that you dreamed that? Or do you think you dreamed
I recognize, I don't know if it's because playgrounds are sort of standardized.
Yeah, dreamed of a playground? Is this that playground?
Yeah. But
Is that a slide?
But like a lot
I've seen a slide.
yeah.
So you had a dream that you worked at a parking lot, and then you saw the parking lot and a playground.
I didn't dream that I worked in a parking lot. I just dreamt I was at that place. And I literally, I think it's also because all the older elementary schools, they were, like the structures themselves were designed very similarly, right?
Okay.
The building standards were like very similar in the layout plans. So I don't know if it was just that, but I walked in and I was like, yo, this feels weird. I'm like, what the heck is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had something similar to that. It's just it was Grouse Mountain. I think they had like a skating rink, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. When I was young, I never went to a mountain before, during when it's winter. And I had some relatives visit from Hong Kong, but I never met this uncle before. And in my dream, it was basically I was at ice rink. Someone called my name. They threw a snowball on my feet while I was skating, and I fell. And on the background, there was, I guess, like the sculptures of like faces. So it was like a week later, they came and then they're like, oh, let's go to Grouse Mountain. So I went there and I went skating. And then this uncle called my name. I turned. He threw a snowball at my feet and I fell down. And then on the back of him, I see the sculptures, face sculptures. And when I fell down, I like thought, I'm like, holy crap.
That's insane.
So
I saw that. So it was so specific. It wasn't like I just been there. Like, it was the same actions. Like he threw a snowball. He called my name, threw a snowball at my feet. I fell down. And it was the exact same thing. And I saw the face sculptures, and I'm like, holy crap, I have special powers. Like, what is this?
So it's not exactly like deja vu, where you feel like something already happened, but
Yeah.
you specifically recalled this dream, and then it happened.
Yeah. I had this dream.
You can see into the future, honestly.
Yeah,
A snapshot. That's insane.
Yeah, so that was like, I think that happened like, the only time that happened is like 3 times in my life. And then after that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that was like when I was really young though.
Yeah.
So,
It's pretty insane how that kind of happens. Like for, like, I don't know, mine definitely wasn't as specific as yours, but like I don't think it happened very frequently for me. Yeah, I don't think it happened super frequently, but I was pretty freaked out at the time. I'm like, yo, this feels so familiar, but I've never been here before.
sees the
Yeah.
playground, like, oh my god. It's been here again.
The slide! I'm driving back to school. Wait. I've seen this in my dreams.
Yeah, but
I
like
got special powers.
if you're talking about like paranormal style activities, there's only like one instance where it was, and this was like very recently. Well, not very recently. It's a couple of years ago, where my grandpa passed away, and so it was sort of like the night after we buried him in the cemetery. And so I remember this really weird because our smoke detector went off inside my parents' house. and this was like literally around midnight, something. But the thing is, my dad changed the batteries like the week previous already, and so like it started making this really weird beeping sound, and it usually only does that when the batteries are low, and so we all kind of stood around the smoke detector trying to figure out what's going on, and then it stopped after a couple of minutes. So basically, my dad was like, "Oh, that might be your grandpa's spirit like roaming around," and the smoke detector sensed it. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the sort of my extent to any actual paranormal activity. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm one of the facts where it's if you don't bother the spirits, most of the time they don't bother you, kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, you want to sit in the corner? Go ahead, man. You know, as long as you don't bug me, I don't bug you. It's fine.
Yeah. So you definitely gotta respect that spiritual world and not.
What if they live at your place though? You
As
still
long
want
as
to
you don't- as long as you don't affect my day-to-day life, sure.
Really? So you'll be okay if they just chill at your place?
Yeah, as long as they don't be like, hey, stop levitating the cup, you know?
Oh, F that. Man, if I see something in my place, dude.
Or if you had like a
I'm
window to like a cemetery, you'd be okay with that place?
I wouldn't like a window to a cemetery because I'm a naturally happy vibe guy. And so seeing sadness all the time really dampers my personality kind of deal. So not living across from a cemetery is a bit of a thing for me. But yeah.
It affects real estate for sure because there are like two towers near the Brentwood area, and then like when I was looking for a place, I'd always say like, "Oh, this is a good price," and I would ask my realtor, she's like, "It's right beside a cemetery." That's why no one's buying these units. So like, I think everyone
Some bad juju.
they don't want to risk it even if it saves them like 50K or because it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some people that really
That don't care.
mind.
Yeah. Some people don't care.
But like sometimes people like, because you have to realize, even if it is a cemetery and like you don't care, like people will also continue burying people in the cemetery unless it's like completely full.
Yeah.
And so like if you look down every so often, you're like, oh, somebody died. And, you know, that kind of affects.
So here's the
for the
thing.
day.
You know, like, do you believe that the people that pass away hang around the graveyard, or do they stay where they pass away?
I think they hang around for the first
Little bit?
The first little bit.
Or where they passed away,
Just
right?
because like no one wants to die and like go away, right? Because you have like family, like grandchildren, children that you want to linger around. But I think at a certain point, they don't stay in this realm forever unless they hold like certain grudges or something against the real world. Like they have to move
like
on.
a time limit sort
They
of
have to
thing.
move on to the afterlife or reincarnate or something. Because that's the actual place, right? Like there's a middle ground and there's reality and there's the actual
Afterlife.
final destination. That's what I believe. Yeah.
When you guys went to the cemetery with your family, if you guys ever did, after a funeral or whatever, did you ever follow that superstition where you don't go straight home because maybe you're having lingering spirits from the follow you?
I've heard of that.
No, I haven't.
No.
But I know you're not supposed to pick up the money though.
There's money?
Yeah, so we went to like in China. We went to.
Oh, it's like the dead money.
Yeah, but they actually it's like real money.
Oh,
Yeah, it was real money.
not the fake money you burn.
No, it was separate because it was actually real money. We went to like some kind of big cemetery, but it's like they have like a whole building, and there's like real money all over the ground.
Oh,
What is that for? Like just
I think
for
it's
good luck or something?
yeah,
You put it
maybe
down there,
I don't know what
pray
it
or
was,
something?
but it was. We were very young, and I went with my cousins as well, and the youngest one,
yeah.
he doesn't know anything, so
Yeah.
he went in there, like, oh my god, free money. He was like picking it up, and then the person that was leading us to to our site, he was like, oh my god, he was like freaking out, like, don't fucking touch it.
He like starts to do prayers.
And then like after that, he started like, putting some water and like,
Yeah,
stuff
dude.
like that. And then my grandma's freaking out. She's like, oh my god, you don't freaking touch the money. Like those are for dead.
You can't blame the kid though. Like
No,
you gotta
yeah.
warn them.
Yeah, because I saw it and I'm like, oh, free money.
Yeah, I picked that up too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like we were freaking out.
I used to like take coins from like the fountains and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, don't mind
Oh,
me.
that's what I did too. And then
Don't mind me.
and then I got beat right after. And I knew not to take the money out of the family.
Yeah. I think
Free money, man.
Yeah.
Well, the traditions really differ then because, like, for the funerals that I've been to, It's one, yeah. We either we take like the big can and then we burn the paper money and everything for like the dead.
Yep.
So like that symbolizes like we're burning. It's
the
basically
afterlife.
currency for them in the
Yeah.
afterlife, right? And then the other one is we actually each get a red pocket, but the red pocket contains a candy in there, and we're supposed to eat the candy afterwards. I'm not quite sure what that tradition is, but I've done it at every single funeral that I have been to. But yeah, we actually usually we don't go home straight afterwards. We go out for like a lunch kind of deal with like the after party. It's either a lunch or a dinner, depending on where it is. And then usually you have to tell. Usually, if it's at a Chinese restaurant, you have to tell the restaurant, "Oh, it's for." It's sort of like it's similar to like a celebration of life, where you it's a meal to kind of complete that day, and you'd be like, everybody remembers that person for that meal. But for Chinese restaurants, they actually have to separate your party from like the rest of the regular encores because it's sort of like
Bad energy
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
And then yeah, that's generally my experience with that for the more traditional kind of funerals I've been to, anyways.
So what did you guys learn after all those experiences? I learned not to mess with it.
Don't mess with that stuff.
Yeah. I learned not to pick up money at a cemetery.
Respect it.
Yeah. That's all we have for today. So yeah, let us know on our comments on Instagram, our YouTube. Hit us up, follow us on Spotify. You can favorite us and also give us a rating there. And then thanks for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys in the next
See ya.
one.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.